outset, I think, is in line with your first question in terms of how did we come up with the concept. The mission was to make travel easier for South Africans in terms of what they are currently already doing. And it was, obviously, any business's mission is to make a profit and to make money, but in line with that was to give South Africans the ability to travel at cheaper prices and making travel accessible to more people in South Africa. I'm proud to say that we're close to 200. We are a very dynamic organization. As our membership club grows, and if we speak a little bit about our business model later, if that's one of your questions, you will understand that our business and our staff complement grows as our business grows. We are in the service industry, so let's say we take on more clients, we take on more members, obviously we grow our staff complement. We are close to 200 now, and I think we're only going to get bigger. One thing, both myself and all my partners within the business, we try and manage our business with one core philosophy, and that is, it's going to sound corny, but it's teamwork makes the dream work, right? And it's a belief that we cannot do this on our own, that we are only successful because everybody brings their part, and that everybody's part is valued and adds to the business's success. So I am Managing Director of Onyx Group Holdings, which means I've got a board of directors that reports to me and that I report to. So it's a vice versa relationship that we have. Together we obviously manage the business. We give direction in order for the business to run efficiently and effectively. Okay, so besides my tertiary education, I've also spent plus minus 15 years, and I always bring that down a little bit because otherwise it would give away my age, but 15 years in the marketing field, which also obviously when you're doing marketing you're kind of related to sales as well, which is part of the reason why I like to go into the root of psychology. And if I could give you advice in terms of business and where you want to go, all of these little things tied together. When I was in marketing, and at that stage we had a telemarketing center, at no stage did I think that I am going to run a massive organization at that stage. But if you have, the will to succeed and you manage to stay confident in a very, very I think volatile environment, you can pull through and you can become successful and you can work towards anything. I believe that my experience in marketing is part of the reason why I am where I'm at, because it teaches you motivation, how to stay committed, teaches you how to be goal-oriented, target-driven, etc. So it gives you all of those attributes. My qualifications, I've got a master's degree in business. I'm also currently pursuing my PhD in psychology. And I'd like to think that all of those qualifications helps me with leading people firstly, and then business comes second. And that's part of the success.
Okay.
All right? A lot of times it's not just about what you get taught at university, Sometimes my husband says to me, I'm streetwise, and sometimes it's that information that you need as well to be successful. Firstly, with being in the travel and tourism trade, I would be very apprehensive to say it's just willingness. Willingness is a very important factor with us in terms of, especially with our philosophy, teamwork makes the dream work. But the most important thing, primarily, firstly, is qualification in terms of our service trade. So because we're in travel and tourism, you've got to have a degree when you want to become a travel agent. When it's our management and our leadership, you've got to have some sort of qualification in terms of telling us that you are capable and you have been trained to work with people. But if you strip away, I think, all of those qualifications and the tertiary education and the experience, I always look for willingness and positivity. Somebody can sit in my chair when I interview them, and I see this on a daily basis. There's a desire to want to succeed. There's a desire to want to make something out of their lives, and to want a career and not a job. I always look for that as well, and that makes a major difference, because you can train the rest, I believe. You cannot train somebody to be motivated in their job. You cannot train somebody to be willing. That kind of has to be innate. My staff is not going to believe me, but I'm going to tell you now, and my partners knows that this is true, and it's part of the reason why we're still here. Close proximity to transport. I know it sounds simple. All of our staff lives very close to the offices. But I think if you make it easier for your staff, and especially your key staff, this is their second home. You know, they can, if there's a mom that needs to run to go and take care of a kid, she can quickly do that. We're out in Somerset West, and it is very difficult. Sometimes people come from Cape Town. We have seen that a lot of our staff are women, so we try and cater for that. You know, if something happens at the school, we know that she can quickly go there. And in fact, even if we were to look for another place, that would probably be our core things that we would be looking out for. So we are PTY Limited. It's a propriety limited. And basically what that means, in a nutshell, is we are privately held. We're a privately owned company. The limited part means that whatever liabilities, risks, debt is held in proportion to the shares of the shareholder. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you were a shareholder of this PTY Limited and you have 50% shares. You're 50% liable for the debts, the risks, the liabilities, etc. Hair raising stuff. Had you asked me that 2 years ago, I would have said to you that it would be to be involved with a company or at the head of a company that has achieved South Africa's leading travel club, or that has been awarded the world's leading travel club. I would like to say that we've already achieved that. So moving forward, I think the goal is to build businesses and business models and to be involved with organizations that takes service delivery within this travel and tourism trade very seriously, that does everything in their power in order to satisfy their clients, or in our case their members, to the degree that they actually stay happy members, and then to always want to work on new initiatives, new innovations in order to actually capitalize on the travel and tourism trade. Yeah, okay. One of our goals is also to create an ethos or a culture, a philosophy almost within the group that kind of says it's for travelers, by travelers. We're a bunch of travelers. All of our travel agents, all of our staff, we travel a lot, and that experience we want to bring to travelers. That do we service clients internationally and locally? Is that yes, what you mean? Yes. We cover the world. There's no place that we can't send you. If you want to do domestic, which is what we refer to South Africa, domestic, we do that. If you want to do international, we do that as well. So we cover the globe.
Okay.
What's unique about our business, I can honestly say, is that there is no other company in South Africa that actually focuses on what we do. What Onyx Group Holdings does is they specialize in business models, and what they've done is they've specialized in business models within the travel and tourism trade. So what they look for is a little niche. I don't know whether you've gotten to that subject. It's like a gap in the market, and they say, how can we make that beneficial to both us, the group, and perhaps other companies? So the company will come to us and they will say to us, I need to start a business, whatever the case may be. We as specialists, having been in the trade for quite a long time, we say, well, we've identified this niche, this is the business model that we are going to come up with, and then we actually give it to them with full marketing strategies, full sales strategies, full product delivery, full service delivery, and they then roll it out.
Okay.
My responsibilities as a business owner, I think the textbook will tell you that it would be to keep the business successful and afloat. It's a very harsh answer, because if an employee or a staff member were to hear that, they would probably say, well, what about me? The fact is, if a business owner is able to keep their business successful, she's able to pay your salary. So her first line of responsibility is to make sure that her business is doing well. Thereafter, you take care of the employees. There's a lot of hype with other business leaders that says, oh, my staff comes first. 100%, my staff comes first too. But if I can't pay their salary, what does that do for them? Okay, so it's both for us.
Okay.
I've explained earlier that I came from a marketing background. They specialized in travel, though it was a very small segment of travel, and I've always been excited by it. I love travel. I like actually traveling with my family, with employees, with staff, with my peers. So, you know the saying, and I know it's a cliche, if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. It kind of just progressed into a business, and everybody that we attract in business, even as staff, they'll probably tell you the same thing. Have I ever turned down a client? Yes, 100%. We have a very rigorous test in terms of who we take on board. You'll get used to this phrase in your business studies. It's called a due diligence. So we do a due diligence where you check them 100%, their background, what their finances look like, what the employees' books looks like. We literally look at the entire business and we say, do we want to take this partner on board? Do we want to be associated with them? So turn them down for reasons that we would not want to be associated with. The answer is yes. If it's a mutually beneficial relationship, we're always going to say yes. It takes hard work. There's a saying, you can either work hard or you can work smart. But in the beginning stages, you need running capital. Everybody says you don't need money. You need money to start a business. You need to be committed. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And all of that is primary. Secondary comes your experience in order to actually bring all of that into fruition. In terms of our business, I would like to think that we have staff members here who also have the idea of starting their own business. And once they get enthralled in terms of what leadership is, what running a business is, and all the type of stuff that actually, makes a business run, they understand how much work it is. So my advice to anybody starting off is know what you're getting yourself into.
That's it.
It's not a piece of cake. All right.